Hello everybody and welcome back to Jester Ranks Off, a video series where I rank off in front of you and you just enjoy it. Today I wanted to do one that's not too heavy, one that's not going to cause too many issues with anybody. It is of course British chocolate. I wanted to do specifically British chocolate because I know there's American chocolate. It has similar names. Some are different. There's different ones. The fuck is a Three Musketeers bar, for example. So I thought I'll be sensible, stick with what I know, the British chocolates. We've got just a beautiful amount of chocolate here. I've recorded a few heavy videos today, so I want to do something a bit lighter. What's lighter than chocolate? So we start off with Fox's Turkish bar. I have never had one of these. I know I like Turkish Delights. But this is how I'm going to work things out on this front. If I've seen these and never picked one up, then it could be the best chocolate in the world. But clearly, I haven't been interested enough in picking one up. Does that mean immediate D tier? No, because D tier would be one I know is terrible. Would it be B tier in the middle because I can't make a decision? No, because while it could be brilliant, and it definitely isn't D tier, I haven't been interested enough in trying it. So for me, a Turkish is a C tier. I'll say this much, if it's anything like Turkish Delights surrounded by chocolate, it's going to be a winner. It's going to be a good one. But yeah, for me personally, let's start off very strong. Let's just put that in C and be done with it effectively. Milky Way. Milky Ways are brilliant. I still don't know what the hell they're made of in the middle. But they're very soft, very delicious. Chocolate's very good. It's a Mars chocolate. Milky Way is absolutely an A tier chocolate. While I say they're good, they don't last long enough though. One of the worst things you can definitely do is get yourself a treat size Milky Way, because you can just throw it in your mouth and it melts and it's gone very quickly. But while you're enjoying it, or while it's in your mouth, wink, it's still pretty good. So I absolutely recommend Milky Way A tier. Toblerone or Toblerone. Toblerone are triangular chocolates in a tube. Now, Toblerones themselves, very nice. Actually, very good chocolate. My issue with a Toblerone, it's both incredibly impractical, but also practical. How is it both, you ask? Well, a Toblerone comes in a cardboard tube, and it's quite strong usually, very powerful shape, triangle. Very, very good at smacking people with. If someone's upsetting you, you could wrap a Toblerone around their head, and they bloody know about it. The problem with the Toblerone is the triangular shape, and having to snap them and stuff like that, especially when they've been in the fridge. It's quite difficult to do sometimes. And sometimes you think, oh, I'll just pinch them together and they'll bend. No, they won't do that either. They're a bit of a pain. They're a nice chocolate, but they're a bit impractical for day-to-day eating. Although I would recommend keeping one in your fridge to fight off a burglar. So for that reason, Toblerone's going to stay B. Kit Kat. Kit Kats are interesting chocolates because they don't come as one chocolate usually. They come as two, or if you're a cool person, 4. And you snap them and you eat them. Unless you're a bloody monster, in which case you just pick them up and just bite them wholesale. Freak, mental person. There's a Kit Kat for you later on if you want to just eat a Kit Kat all in one go. You break them off, you eat them one by one. It makes them feel like they last longer too, which is kind of cool. Kit Kats are a brilliant little thing. They come in different flavours. You can get yourself an orange one. You can get yourself a mint one if you're disgusting. If you go to Japan, you can get about 17,495.6 different kinds of flavour of Kit Kat. So much so that they actually have their own like snack box where they send you different kinds of Kit Kats, which to me sounds incredible until they start sending me ones I don't like, in which case I'm going to start throwing them at the neighbourhood cats. But the original plain old Kit Kat, I think, absolutely deserves an A tier ranking. You're going to find quite quickly that chocolate generally doesn't have terrible sides to it, but we're about to find some terrible sides to it. Damn bars! Damn bars. Dame bars. I don't like them. They're a bit flat. They're very, like, hard to bite. It's just like hard-ass caramel in the middle that's, like, not good. Soft caramel, very good. Hard caramel, not very good. Dame bars are kind of crappy. They can straight go into D tier. A Topic bar is a Snickers that just got abandoned by its family early on and grew up in an orphanage. They're not good at all. I think I had a Topic once, decided it was terrible, and never had one again, which immediately puts it down into the D tier every day. Gonna upset somebody here. Kinder Bueno. Now, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to nuts. Give me a Dairy Milk fruit and nut. I'm like, hell yeah, brother. That's pretty damn good. Give me a pack of salted peanuts. I'll eat them. I'll eat them. They're not bad. Give me something that tastes like hazelnut. And I'm like, no, 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 no. What have you done? You've ruined my life. Not only have you falsely named it by naming it a Kinder Bueno, which, by the way, is both German and Spanish, I believe. What's going on there? You've also given me something that tastes like hazelnut, and hazelnut is terrible for that reason. Kinder Bueno is a D tier. Boost, or Monster if it was a chocolate bar. Or so it claims. Boost is... This is a difficult one for me, because I do enjoy a Boost. They are a bit impractical to eat, because they're very, very sticky. They've got a caramel inside, apparently full of caffeine, which I don't feel much more awake after a Boost, but then again... I'm used to this shit, so... yeah, they're a bit impractical to eat. They're very chewy. There's a nice crunch to a Boost bar, though. I do like them. But I don't think they make it up to A tier. I think they stay in a comfortable B tier with the Boost. Galaxy. Again, a chocolate that comes in many forms. Galaxy is incredibly nice. It's probably the best branded chocolate that exists, just as like a base chocolate. Very velvety. You know, they use these buzzwords on their advertising, but it really is. It's very smooth. Melts in your mouth. It's an incredibly good bit of chocolate. Galaxy is actually an S tier chocolate. All day, every day. You gotta love it. Curly Wurly. Now, it gets points because the name is hilarious. Curly Wurly is great. It's designed in like a lattice shape, so it kind of like makes sense to the name. But all in all, it's like a flat bar, which has like, it's like caramel tubes that have been surrounded by chocolate. It's nice, but again, it suffers from a similar issue to the Boost, where the caramel tends to drag and like get stuck in your face and stuff, and they get stuck on the roof of your mouth and your teeth and things like that. It's okay. It's not as aggressive as a Boost on that front, but they're a B tier chocolate. Next up, we have Maltesers. Maltesers are a fascinating chocolate because there's so many ways to eat them. You can just straight up bite them and crunch them. You can lick all the chocolate off. You can do what I do, which is like use your teeth to form a crack and like skin the chocolate off the malt inside, the malt ball. Eat the chocolate, then crunch the malt ball. I'm weird, but I love Maltesers. If you throw me a packet of Maltesers, you say, hey, Liam, have some Maltesers. I love you. You're brilliant. Thank you very much. Maltesers, once again, S tier. Mars Bar. Now, Mars Bars suffer from a, again, similar issue to the Boost, and you'll find this with quite a few of the caramel-based chocolates here. Mars tends to get a bit stuck in your mouth sometimes, stuck in your teeth, but generally not as offensive as a Boost bar. One thing I will say about a Mars Bar, which might upset some people, is a local supermarket chain actually has their own version of a Mars Bar, which I actually prefer to the Mars Bar. It's a bit weird because they're probably made in the exact same place, but I actually prefer the own brand version of Mars than the Mars Bar itself. So if I was rating that, it would be A tier, but unfortunately the base level Mars Bar is only a B tier for me. Dairy Milk. Well, just because of where Galaxy is, we cannot put it in S tier, but Dairy Milk's pretty damn good. It's just a plain old chocolate. It's a nice tasting chocolate. A lot of people worried, America, you might understand this a bit better than maybe some of the younger British audience. Dairy Milk, or Cadbury's, was brought out by Kraft, who are well known for making their lovely fake cheese singles. When that happened, a lot of people were like very worried that the Dairy Milk would start tasting terrible. Apparently, people don't like Hershey's. I think Kraft own Hershey's. I think people worried they would start tasting like that. As far as I'm aware, that never happened. I've never noticed a taste difference with Dairy Milk. I think it's a very nice, just good old chocolate, so that's absolutely going to go in A tier. Flakes are the nice chocolates, but there's only one good use for a flake, and that is putting it into an ice cream. Flakes are exactly how they're named, very flaky. You can lose a lot of a flake in a packet. You can actually lose a lot of it when you bite it into it. They're nice, but again, quite impractical. And I prefer a lot of other chocolates on this list, so for me, it's a C tier. Freddo is literally a Dairy Milk bar shaped like a frog. And anything that's shaped like a frog is pretty damn cool. We don't know where It's A tier, it's the same as Dairy Milk, so it's not a problem. Galaxy Caramel, again, caramel is brought up, and this is one of the ones that do it right. It's a very smooth caramel. I've never had an issue with it getting stuck anywhere it shouldn't be. It's a beautiful chocolate as well. If anything, the main problem is it doesn't last long enough because it just kind of like melts away very quickly. Galaxy chocolate is incredibly good for that. It's not quite as good as plain old Galaxy, but I'm definitely going to make it into the A tier. And to be honest, it's probably like at the front of the A tier. It's very, very nice, Galaxy Caramel. I'd recommend it to everybody. Now, I'm going to upset the Americans, because I know a lot of Americans love Twix. Twix is okay. It does caramel right. It's got a lovely crunchy biscuit. The chocolate's okay. It's just not enough of chocolate, if you get what I mean. It's a very thin layer of chocolate, and I feel like it would benefit from more chocolate being involved with it. It's okay, but I prefer a lot of other chocolates that are on this list. So for me, Twix, B tier. Snickers is kind of crappy. I've never enjoyed Snickers. Terrible. It's a Mars bar with nuts in it. The nuts aren't that good. They're low tier nuts. It's a D for me on the old Snickers. Yorkie. It'd be an S tier for me if it was still sticking by its old slogan, which was not for girls.
5 big masculine chunks of chocolate. It's not for girls.
That's right. Once upon a time in Britain, the Yorkie had, where the O is, a woman crossed out of a red circle, and it said, not for girls, in that exact voice. Kind of incredible. Nobody got offended back then, which was nice. These days, if anything came out with that, there'd be a fucking news article on it, and they'd be issuing a public apology. Yorkie don't give a fuck. Having said all that, Yorkie it's a nice chocolate, but it's like quite a hard, tough chocolate. That's why it's not for girls. It's not as nice as a good old Dairy Milk, and it's definitely not as good as a Galaxy. It's probably the most B tier chocolate biscuit combination there, I think. It's good. I wouldn't say no to a Yorkie bar, but again, there's definitely better ones on that list. The Crunchie. The Crunchie is a big old block of honeycomb surrounded by really nice chocolate. Very fun chocolate to eat. It's just, listen, a lot of these live up to their names. You crunch into a Crunchie bar. They are very good. Lovely sweet flavor. There's a thin layer of chocolate, but it works. It doesn't need a lot of chocolate. The honeycomb is definitely the main attraction. The honeycomb and the chocolate combination is mwah, chef's kiss. Crunchie is almost S tier, but it does have a little crunchy nugget version of it, which is absolutely S tier, which also by extension keeps it in A tier. Next up is the Double Decker. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've been presented with this chocolate or a Double Decker and chosen the Double Decker. They're very nothing chocolate in the chocolate world. I can't think of anyone who's ever said, you know what my favourite chocolate bar is? A Double Decker. Not a single person in the world has ever said that. If you are one of those people, please comment so we can find you and hunt you down. Double Decker is a C tier chocolate. This is going to be a personal taste one. I fucking hate coconut. It's got a weird texture. It's got a weird flavour. It's incredibly wrong. And if there was any row below D that I could put this on, it would be on it. Bounty's a D tier. Milky Bar. We're ranking these by different things once again, but Milky Bar has a song with it, and that is, the Milky Bar kid is strong and tough, and only the best is good enough. A creamy milk, a wider bar, the good taste that's in Milky Bar. It's the most catchiest slogan ever. I have not ever been able to get that out of my head since I was about 5 years old. Having said all that, the Milky Bar is a very sickly white chocolate bar. White chocolate's nice, don't get me wrong, but it's very sickly. You can have too much white chocolate. For me personally, Milky Bar is definitely a B tier. It's nice, but like, you can't have too much of it. Again, this is going to be a personal preference thing, but I cannot stand mint. I don't like mint flavored stuff, so the mint Aero immediately goes down to D tier, but because of that, the Aero original gets a bit of a conversation about it. The original Aero is, again, it's a very nice light chocolate. It's very instead of like being solid chocolate, it's like quite bubbly inside. It's a very interesting effect actually. I had an issue with an Aero bar the other day, which was like a block of it, and it was the orange one. It was very crumbly. Like once you started snapping it, it was all falling apart. But an Aero chocolate bar itself, you're just gonna it anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Aero is a very nice chocolate bar. It's not quite on Galaxy level, but it's definitely at least Dairy Milk, so we'll throw that up to A tier. That's not a problem. Whisper is actually a similar inside to the Aero bar, only it's chunkier, and that works in its favor. I love a good Whisper. That can also go A tier. Dairy Milk Caramel, again, it's another one that does caramel right. Now, this is going to be potentially a little bit controversial, because despite the fact that Galaxy is S tier and Galaxy Caramel is A tier and normal Dairy Milk is A tier, I actually prefer Dairy Milk Caramel to the Galaxy Caramel. I'm not entirely sure why. I couldn't tell you why that is, but I actually prefer a Dairy Milk Caramel to a Galaxy Caramel. So I'm gonna throw it up to A tier and probably like move it all the way across. I don't usually like order them on the row, but like, yeah, I think I actually prefer a Dairy Milk Caramel to a Galaxy. I don't think it's quite S tier. Although, if you were to throw me, if you were to say, would you like Caramel or Galaxy or Maltesers, I would struggle a little bit, but I'd probably still know which one I'd choose out of those, so yeah, I think Caramel in the A tier is a perfectly acceptable thing. Next up, we have the Terry's Chocolate Orange. The quintessential, you should share this, but you absolutely will not chocolate. Very unique thing with a Terry's Chocolate Orange. You don't just, like, open it up and it's ready to eat. You gotta fucking slam it onto something. It's a chocolate that makes you work for it, and I like a chocolate that makes me work for it. The rest of this chocolate, whores. Absolute whores. We'll just give it to you for free as soon as you're ready. Terry's Chocolate Orange is like, nah, bruh, you're gonna work to get this. Lovely flavor. Chocolate and orange is like the quintessential combination of sweet food. For me personally, the Terry's Chocolate Orange is a S tier chocolate. Dairy Milk Oreo is a bit of a weird one. Again, Dairy Milk, we love Dairy Milk, very good. We love Oreos. Nothing wrong with Oreos. There's something weird about a Dairy Milk Oreo, and it's quite weird that this list chose a Dairy Milk Oreo and then a Dairy Milk Whole Nut and then nothing else with the Dairy Milk family. Feels a bit weird ranking them actually. Before I carry on, that is at Easy for Eden, so thank you for making the list. Yeah, whenever Dairy Milk combines stuff, there's very few exceptions to this rule. But like the traditional Dairy Milk or Dairy Milk Caramel is always going to be superior to it. The one thing that's jumping out of my mouth where that's an exception is when you've got the Creative Creations or Crazy Creations one, which is like the popping candy and stuff like that. That is so good. So good. Dairy Milk Oreo is like, it's fine. Dairy Milk Oreo is fine, but it's not my favorite, so I'm going to throw it into C. Dairy Milk Whole Nut, once again, we have the issue where we're talking about nuts. Fruit and Nut, I get on with. I fuck with Fruit and Nut. Whole Nut is kind of like, who put these rock hard pieces of crap in my goddamn chocolate? I might put that into D tier just because I'm not a big fan of having just nuts in my chocolate. And take that how you will. Kit Kat Chunky. Remember when I said earlier that there's a Kit Kat for mental people that just want to bite into a Kit Kat rather than break it up? It's the Kit Kat Chunky. I'm one of those people. The Kit Kat Chunky is the best chocolate and biscuit combination you can get in the British market. It is fantastic. It's just bite into it. It doesn't take you forever to eat, but you're not going to be through it in 5 seconds either. It's got a lovely flavour to it. The biscuit's nice. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's such a plain sounding chocolate when you describe it, but it's so good. Kit Kat Chunky is an S tier chocolate. Rolo, there was an advertising thing where it's like, oh, you got to share your Rolos. I forget how it goes. To that I say, fuck off. They're my Rolos. Get your own. They are like chocolate cups with caramel inside. They're alright. It's not my favourite chocolate on this list. It's certainly not my favourite chocolate and caramel combination. I wouldn't say it's terrible. I'm certainly not going to say no if you offer me a Rolo, like the advert would suggest. But I'm not going to offer you one of my Rolos because they're mine, so get your own. Yeah, I think Rolo's absolutely fine on the B tier. And finally, Whisper Gold. I'm ashamed to say that I've never had a Whisper Gold. But I get the feeling it's some kind of like insane, crazy love child between a Whisper and a Crunchy. And if it is, that's an S tier. That is absolutely an S tier chocolate. But because I don't know about it and I've never had one, I'm going to have to throw it in the C tier. It will be returned to upon, you know, further notice. So in S tier we have Galaxy, we have Maltesers, we have Terry's Chocolate Orange, it's not Terry's, it's mine, and Kit Kat Chunky. A tier is Dairy Milk Caramel, Galaxy Caramel, Milky Way, Kit Kat, Dairy Milk Freddo, Crunchy Aero Whisper. B tier is Toblerone Boost, Curly Whirly, Mars Twix, Yorkie, Milky Bar and Rolo. C is Turkish Delight, I think, Fries, whoever that is, Flake, Double Decker, Dairy Milk, Oreo, Whisper Gold. And D is Damn, Topic, Bueno, Snickers, Bounty, Aero Mint, and Dairy Milk Whole Nut. That's it, guys. That's my chocolate ranking list in the UK. If you agree or disagree, welcome to make your own. There's a link in the description below. If you want to yell at me about it, you know where I stream. Twitch.tv/Jestertainment. See more videos like this, my VODs and vlogs, and other videos. YouTube.com/JesterOnDemand. And see what I'm ranting about this week. Twitter.com/Jestertainment_. Thanks for watching this video as always, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next one. See ya.